Very good afternoon, my dear friends. Welcome back to Chandan Logic's English YouTube channel. You're watching English class and my name is Sham. Yes, sorry for the delay. I think today you can hear my voice very clearly because I remember I promised you that I would resolve the voice problem, and yesterday I worked on this voice issue, and I'm very sure today you can listen to my voice very clearly. I hope so. And whenever there is some technical reason or when I'm too busy to come on live, I'll be missing you, but don't worry, I will definitely bounce back. Sometimes the sessions will be slightly delayed, or the sessions will be slightly rescheduled, but I'm not going to miss you at all. Okay, if that cannot happen in the morning, that will happen in the afternoon. If that doesn't happen in the afternoon, that will happen sometime later. So my dear friends, probationary officer exams are very quickly coming ahead. Already some of you are going to write the SBI PO, and already IBPS PO is also on the way. So in this session, let's focus on some very important PO related, banking related, PO level practice exercises, and today's topic is antonyms. If you remember, 2 sessions we talked about synonyms, and I'm sure you must have found those vocabulary very difficult, but that's how we have to improve our vocabulary. And today and tomorrow, most probably we will be focusing on antonyms. So let's get started without further delay, and let us try to cover as many as possible vocabulary. So my dear friends, you are watching Chandan Logic's English YouTube channel every day. Usually morning 8 o'clock I come, and every evening usually 7:30 I come on Chandan Logic's Telugu channel. So my dear friends, Chandan Logics has offered you a fantastic free course. In this free course, you have a lot of practice exercises. You can take it and start your practice. And police aspirants can get English classes at a very reasonable price here. The very first question is on the screen, my dear friends. And I promise you, today we are going to have a lot of vocabulary which we have already discussed in our previous sessions, so that you will now get the chance to do revision and you will get the chance to recall those words. That is the reason I decided to deliberately repeat some important vocabulary which I have already told you before. Okay, I want you to be very confident now while you answer these questions. Yes, my dear friends. I'm sure this is the easiest question in the entire session. This is the easiest question in the entire session. And you ask me why. There is a wonderful trick to follow here. If you are a normal student, you will worry a lot about this question. But I'm sure you are smart enough. You're very smart enough. How easy is he? How easy is he? Here you have esoteric. Here you have exoteric. So it is very easy now to identify the answer, because option A is the answer. Because esoteric and exoteric are antonyms, my dear friends. Esoteric and exoteric are antonyms, my dear friends. How many of you remember the meaning of the first vocabulary, that is atavistic, which I have told you before? So basically, my dear friends, atavistic. My dear friends, atavistic. Atavistic is something related to very old. Atavistic means something related to very old, very primitive. Very old, very primitive. Which is this, primitive. Okay, so now primitive means very old, very ancient. Primitive means very old, very ancient. Now the opposite is progressive. So progressive is something which is very developed. So you know the word progressive, right? So progressive is the opposite of that. Progressive is the opposite of that. Okay. And what is the meaning of the word esoteric, my dear friends? I think very easy question, esoteric. So same is the case where with the esoteric understood by a very few. Esoteric is understood by a very few. Esoteric is understood by a very few. Yes. If you talk about this word esoteric, esoteric means something which can be understood by a very few people. Okay. I'll write here esoteric. Understood by a very few people. Esoteric is something which is understood by a very few people. Which is something like very strange. Something like very strange. Okay. Something like very strange. Very strange. And what is the meaning of exoteric? Exo is always outside. Okay. Exoteric is outside. Generally common. Can be understood by people. Okay. So exoteric means easy to understand. Please write running notes or take a screenshot. Exoteric is easy to understand. Exoteric is easy to understand. Okay. Exoteric is easy to understand. Okay. What about the second, like a vestigial? Okay. So vestigial is also past tense. If you talk about this vestigial, this primitive, this ancestral, all these words talk about the same. Atavistic, very old. Okay. Very old. Very old. Vestigial is very old. What is hermetic? Hermetic is something related to very secretive. So hermetic is very secretive. Hermetic is very secretive. Okay. Something done and is secret. And recondite is also difficult to understand, my dear friends. So recondite is something very difficult to understand. Okay. So please make some good running notes. I know a lot of vocabulary are here, but I want you to be very focused. And arcane is also secret, difficult to understand. So I'll write here arcane. Okay, arcane is also the same, maybe difficult to understand. So arcane. Old, difficult to understand. Yes. Correct, Vishnu. What I have planned is, what I planned was like till this again weekend, I want to completely do sessions on different topics like this. And after the coming whole week, again, let's go back to mock test explanations. Okay. So that 1 week we'll be focusing on content, topics, syllabus, and 1 week we'll be focusing on practice sessions. I'm sure that will help you guys. Okay. So the answer is the first option. The answer is the first option. Can you try the question number 2? Can you try the question number 2, guys? Can you try the question number 2, guys? We are now looking for antonyms. Okay. We want antonyms. Remarkably is not the word. You please make it into yellow color. That is not the word. Remarkably is not a problem. Only this word is a problem. Lucid and label. Okay. Remarkably is not bolded. It is by mistake bolded here. Do you know the meaning of the word lucid, my dear friends? How many of you know the meaning of the word lucid? Okay. Everybody knows the meaning of the lucid. No, lucid is very clear. So lucid is very clear. Lucid is very clear. Okay. Lucid is very clear. So naturally when you have this word muddled, how many of you know the word muddled? Muddled means unclear, confused. Yesterday when I heard the news, I was muddled, confused. When I heard the news yesterday, I was muddled, I was confused. And I think everybody knows this word volatile, I mean like cogent. What is the meaning of the word cogent? So what is the meaning of the word cogent? Cogent is also very convincing, very clear, very convincing. Cogent is also very clear, very convincing. And what is the third option word? Incisive. What is the meaning of the word incisive, my dear friends? What is the meaning of the word incisive? Very sharp. Do you have, do you know incisors? In biology, you study incisors. I think in our dental system, we have incisors, molars, premolars. Some animals will have canines. Dogs will have canines. So incisors, okay, incisors. Incisors are like very sharp. Incisors are like very sharp. Incisors are like very sharp, very sharp. Okay. This is a very nice word here, perspicacious. So perspicacious is very knowledgeable. When you talk about this word perspicacious, very knowledgeable, very insightful. Okay, very knowledgeable, very insightful. Very knowledgeable, very insightful. Perspicacious is very knowledgeable, very insightful. Okay. And I think everybody knows the word stable. Stable is very stable. And these words like mercurial, volatile, and erratic, which unstable. Mercurial, volatile, erratic is unstable. Okay, unstable. See, I think this is a shortcut. Mercurial. I don't like his mercurial character. I don't like his mercurial character. Mercurial character is unstable. Lack of stability is unstable character. Lack of stability. Okay. So muddled. So muddled and stable. It is, I think stable is easy to identify because stable is the only positive word. Mercurial is negative, volatile is negative, and erratic is negative. So this is the only positive word. You can easily get in that way. And even muddled is very confused, negative word. And cogent is very clear, positive word. Incisive is very strong, positive word. Perspicacious is very insightful, positive word. So plus minus factor, you can easily get it, my dear friends. Okay, plus minus factor. Please make some good running notes. Again and again I say, please make some good running notes. Okay. Labile is very unstable, dear. Labile is very unstable. Labile is very unstable. Labile is very unstable. Okay. Labile is very unstable. Okay. Labile is very unstable. Okay. I want you to listen to this session, simultaneously make some running notes and simultaneously study the words. See, the purpose of this session, the purpose of the previous two sessions on synonyms and antonyms is, I want you to focus on the vocabulary and learn new vocabulary skills. PO level, mains level, tough vocabulary is what I'm actually talking about. So you guys have to be very, very clear and learn good vocabulary. See, labile is very stable. Labile is very stable. I'll write here, see. I'll write here, labile is very stable. Labile is very stable. Okay. Labile is very stable. Okay. Right. So the answer is a second option. I'm not trying to explain the whole sentence because we are trying to learn the vocabulary and that's how you get the answer, plus minus factor. Second option is an answer. But I'll do one thing for your sake. I'll explain this sentence in a very brief way. The neurologist observed that the patient's reasoning remained remarkably stable, yet his emotional responses had become labile. So, complicating the differential diagnosis despite other consistent cognitive performance. Okay. So, there is a patient who has some health problems which are very unstable, and even though he had some unstable health conditions, overall his emotional balance is stable. So you're talking about plus minus, stable, unstable, stable, unstable, stable, unstable. Okay. Yes. Next question. Can you try the third question? Can you try the third question? Profligate, inelastic. I think here we have a very easy level of vocabulary. What do you think? Here you have a very easy level of vocabulary. What do you think? Yes, my dear friends. I'll straight come to the point because you should know the vocabulary already now. So profligate, what is the meaning of profligate? Profligate means wasting a lot of money, spending a lot of money. That's called profligate. I used to have a friend who used to, profligate. Profligate means wasting money. Okay. Now what is the opposite of wasting money? Frugal, frugal. So frugal is like absolute careful about money. Frugal is very, very careful about money. Not exactly miser, but frugal people are very, very careful about money. Okay. I think the other options are very easy to identify here, because a spendthrift is a person who spends a lot of money lavishly. Spending money lavishly is, simply wasting money, simply wasting money, simply wasting money. Even prodigal is also the same, wasting money. Like prodigal is recklessness. Prodigal is recklessly spending money. So wasting money, wasting money. So easy to identify. Frugal is the answer. Third option is the answer. Even much easier is this: fixed, rigid, and static are one, whereas flexible is the opposite. So this is the answer. See. So when we practice higher level questions based on vocabulary like this, what happens is you will not get that fear factor anymore. I want my students not to have fear for English, not to have fear for vocabulary. And that fear will go away only if you practice, only if you practice. And consistency is very important. Okay, consistency is very important. Yes, it did. Let's go to the next question, question number 4. Okay, question number 4. Waiting for your answer. Waiting for your answer. Waiting for your answer. We have two words, illusory and contingent. You have two words, illusory and contingent. Yes, my dear friends. Illusory and contingent. You have illusory and contingent. Illusory and contingent. I think everybody knows illusory. What is the meaning of illusory? Illusory means not real, unreal. Illusory is not real, unreal. Not real, unreal. Okay, not real, unreal. But now you want the opposite. The opposite is substantive. So substantive is very, very real. Substantive is very real. Okay. So fictitious is also not real. Nominal is not very real. Apparent is not very real. Okay. Apparent is also not very real. Okay. Apparent is also not very real. It is only like assuming. When we say apparent, apparent means seeming, seeming. It could happen. Okay. It could happen. It could happen. Okay. Whereas contingent, what is the meaning of contingent? Contingent means conditional. There is a condition. Only if you say sorry, I will talk to you. It's a condition. Only if you, return my money next week, I will send you the money today. So contingent is a conditional based, conditional based. So which is like there is a qualification needed. It is a condition. It is only a provision. It is not absolute. Absolute means unconditional. Absolute means unconditional. Absolute means unconditional. Complete. Complete, total. Complete, total. That's it. So option 4 is the right answer here. Easy. It's like odd man out. See, these three are synonyms to this, and these three are synonyms to this, and this is antonym to this. This is antonym to this. Yes. Yes, my dear friends. I think most of the students were asking me about increasing the volume. So yesterday late night I was working on increasing the volume, and I think you can find some tangible difference in the voice. I hope so. Now the voice can be now the voice is surely louder and clearer. And mostly I don't miss your live sessions every day, morning and evening. I try to come on live, whatever circumstances try to divert me. And but if at all, if some unavoidable reasons come on my way, I try to alter the session. Like yesterday evening, CGL class, I couldn't continue that, but don't worry, we will have it today evening. And reading comprehension, yesterday we missed it. And today morning bank class, I missed it. So immediately I try to skip my lunch break and want to spend the time with you. So maximum I'll try to not miss my consistency. Okay. Let's go for question number 5, guys. Question number 5. Yes. Question number 5. Can you get the answer in less than 10 seconds? Because this is easy. This is easy. This is easy. Antonyms, guys. We are focusing on antonyms. Frankly speaking, students, very frankly speaking, students, persistent means very strong. My dear friends, persistent means very strong. Durable means very strong. Robust means very strong. Okay. So persistent means very strong. Okay. We also say vigorous. So persistent, vigorous, very strong. You know, indefatigable, very strong. You know, indefatigable, very strong. We also use the word invincible. You know, invincible is also very strong. And the only opposite is fragile. Okay. So fragile is very weak. Fragile is very frangible. You know, fragile is very feeble. Please write good running notes. Fragile is very feeble. Okay. Fragile is weakness, fatigue, and many more. Okay. So naturally, this is the answer. This is the answer. Okay. Easy, no, guys? Even resilient. So resilient is also very strong. Resilient is also very strong. I want my students to be always resilient in their lives, in their careers, both in personal and professional lives. Very, very strong. Now sedentary. Do you know the meaning of the word sedentary, guys? So when we talk about sedentary, it means without any movement. No movement. In the same place, in the same position. These are the synonyms. Okay. Without any movement. We also use the word no movement. We also use the word no movement. We say lingering, you know, lingering. So lingering means remaining in the same position. 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 I want you to make some good running notes, dear. Question number 6, guys. Can you try the vocabulary antonyms? Question number 6, guys. Can you try? Yes. Very easy question, dear. Very, very easy question. Very, very easy question. Don't even have to look at the question. Only just go by the options. Easy to you know, get it. Easy to get the answer. Yes, my dear friends. Very easy to find the answer. See? What is the meaning of dormant, my dear friends? So dormant means what? What is the meaning of dormant? So dormant means something very inactive. So dormant is very inactive, very dull. It's almost like passive. It's almost like passive. We also say dying. It's almost like dying. We say it's almost like vanishing. Vanishing means almost going to become extinct. Almost going to become extinct. Okay. And obsolete is a synonym to this. Obsolete. Defunct is also the synonym to this. Defunct is also synonym to this. And even, my dear friends, moribund. So moribund also comes in this group. Moribund is also very dull. Moribund is also very dull. Very sad. I mean, not exactly sad, but something which is almost going to die. Almost getting extinct. Almost going to become extinct. Okay. So now the opposite is what? Flourishing. See, these are all negative words. Whatever I have written so far, they're all negative words. And flourishing is the only positive option. See, flourishing is the only positive option. Only positive option. Rest are negative, negative. Flourishing is developing. Okay, developing. Okay, right. Now, if you see this, ubiquitous. So, my dear friends, do you know the meaning of the word ubiquitous? Ubiquitous means like present everywhere. Ubiquitous means like present everywhere. Omnipresent, you know. Ubiquitous means present everywhere. Present everywhere. It's like universal. It's like omnipresent. Pervasive. So pervasive means widespread. Today corruption is pervasive in our country. Corruption is pervasive in our country. And the only opposite is scarce. Okay. Right. So option C is the right answer, guys. Option C is the right answer. Option C is the right answer. Anything is possible, dear, with consistency, practice. See, consistency should become your habit. Discipline should become your lifestyle. And then what happens is automatically perfection becomes your character. Okay, question number 7, can you try, guys? Don't go by the question, just go by the options, dear. You will easily get the answer, believe me. Yes, my dear friends. Yes, today all pervasive, widespread. You're right. Dormant account in banking. If there is no use of saving account, they will consider dormant account. Correct. Correct. So my dear friends, my dear friends, my dear friends, see here, subtle. Subtle means, the meaning of the word subtle means very light. I'll give you one example with subtle. There is a subtle difference between confidence and overconfidence. There is a subtle difference between discipline and stress. There is a subtle difference between I can do, only I can do. Okay, so subtle means very light, very little. It's like can't be identified. Okay, very light, can't be identified, can't be seen easily, can't be seen easily. You cannot identify it. Very, very light, very, very small. That is the meaning of subtle. And naturally invisible. Invisible means you can't see. Camouflage. Camouflage means you can't see. Hide, hidden. Camouflage is you can't see. It is something hidden. It is something hidden. Now the only option possible is conspicuous. So my dear friends, conspicuous is something which can be easily seen. Okay. And even cryptic is also same. This directly jumps to this category. Cryptic. Cryptic is also same. Something you can't easily find out. You can't easily find. You can't easily find. You can't easily find. Okay. Right. You can't easily find. Okay. Right. Let me join this here in this direction. Okay. Now the opposite is conspicuous, guys. So conspicuous means I easily identify. Conspicuous, easy to identify. When we say conspicuous, something which is easy to identify, something which is very clear to identify. Okay, the opposite of this. Now you see this option here. What is the meaning of gregarious, guys? So gregarious means very friendly, very, very friendly with everybody. Gregarious, which is like very cooperative, which is like very communal, which is like very social. Solitary means alone. Solitary means alone. Solitary means alone. Okay. So solitary means, my dear friends, something alone. Solitary means alone. You are not talking to anyone. Okay. Whereas conspicuous means very open. Conspicuous is very open, very clear. That is why second option is the right answer. Second option is the right answer. Practice, practice. So you don't have to really understand the sentence, but sometimes, yes, if you don't see, I know the vocabulary, honestly speaking, I know the vocabulary here. So I am going by the vocabulary knowledge. Imagine if you do not know the vocabulary, then there is plan B also. The plan B is you can read the sentence and then try to understand the meaning of the sentence, and then try to understand the meaning of the sentence. Meaning of the sentence. You're right. We don't say subtle, we say subtle. We don't say subtle. B is actually silent. B is actually silent. We use mostly subtle. Okay, next. Question number 8, my dear friends. Question number 8. Question number 8. Can you try the answer? Yes. I think this is the easiest question so far. This is the easiest question so far, I'm very sure. Yes. Yes, my dear friends. This is the easiest question so far. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Very, very nice. I appreciate. That is how you must enjoy learning vocabulary. Sweet poison. Very good. This is what I always believe in. That is my style of teaching or learning vocabulary. Examples from movies. In the movie Triple R, Ramcharan was kept in a solitary cell. You know, there is a vocabulary also for that. Solitary cell is called dungeon. That solitary cell is called dungeon. Dungeon. Very good. Very good. Social, communicable, cooperative. You're right. Solitary cell. Very good. Very good. So what is the meaning of transparent, my dear friends? How simple this is. Anyone who has some basic knowledge of English vocabulary, opaque, transparent, opposite, no? So easy to identify, easy to identify. So let me start with opaque here. What is the meaning of opaque? So opaque means unclear. Opaque is closed. Opaque is unclear, closed, not open. Not open, okay, unclear. So which is like obscure, ambiguous, hidden. Obscure, ambiguous, hidden. Obscure, ambiguous, hidden. Okay, next. Similarly, what is the meaning of the word capricious? Do you know, my dear friends? When we say capricious, which means very unstable. Suddenly you are changing. Sudden changing. That's called capricious. It's like volatile. Sudden changes. If that is okay for you, I would like to give you one extra idiom here. Blow hot and cold. There is a beautiful idiom called blow hot and cold. So what is the meaning of the idiom blow hot and cold? Unstable, very, very unstable. Which is like naturally arbitrary, random. Arbitrary means random, okay? Arbitrary means random. And naturally it must be impulsive. Impulsive means something done suddenly. Sudden reaction, okay? Impulsive. We say sudden reaction, okay? Which is like erratic. So the right answer is, my dear friends, first option. The right answer is, my dear friends, first option. So transparent, consistent. Right. Transparent, consistent, okay? Correct. So what is important is English is not our language. English is a foreign language. You need to just learn it for your career. Get some basic knowledge of, grammar and vocabulary. That's all. You don't have to try to be perfect in English. You don't have to try to be perfect in grammar or perfect in vocabulary or even perfect in accent and pronunciation also. You don't have to speak like a foreign accent. You don't have to speak like a foreigner. To share with you, apart from English, I was recently watching some videos of some people who were talking about Narendra Modi's accent. See, I always say, we don't have to speak like foreigners. We don't have to speak like Donald Trump. English is not our language. You can speak English with your own accent. Indians don't have to speak like Americans. Indians have different Indian languages. English is a foreign language. So if you have any objection to a policy, you have to talk about the policy. Narendra Modi failed in doing that. Yes, say that. Narendra Modi failed in doing this. Say that. Or Rahul Gandhi failed in doing that. Rahul Gandhi failed in doing this. Or Revant Reddy failed in doing that. Chandrababu Naidu failed in doing this. You have to talk about policies because most of you belong to Gen Z. So my suggestion today, even though this is not a part of my job in this session, is Gen Z should understand, focus on the policies, focus on the subject, not personal matters about politicians or not about hairstyle of a politician, not about the family members of politicians. It doesn't really matter. Abdul Kalam's English is very bad. Abdul Kalam talks not in a foreign accent. His English is very neutral. But that doesn't matter. His character matters. So, most of the people who have brought reforms in our country are not highly qualified. They are not highly qualified. They are not highly qualified. They don't speak posh English. So we have to only focus on the subjects, policies. That's it. Don't talk about personal things, how Narendra Modi talks, how his English is. That doesn't matter. You only have to focus on policy. What is a policy? What is a bill passed in the parliament? Is that good or bad? That's it. I think the Gen Z should better focus on that, so that they deserve some more respect and good respect. So capricious is very unstable. Capricious is very unstable. Okay. Next. Question number 8, my dear friends. Can you try the answer? Question number 9. Question number 9. Question number 9. Yes, my dear friends. Yes, yes, I know, Vishnu. Yes, yes. Yes. So dogma is a very important word, dear. Dogma. Okay. So what is the meaning of the word dogma, dear? I'll write here. So what is the meaning of the word dogma? So dogma means a belief, a fixed belief, and you don't want to change it. Dogma means a fixed belief, a belief system which is fixed and you don't want to change it. You can't leave it. And logic is not important. No logic, no magic. Just a belief. That is called dogma. It's like doctrine. It's like very rigid belief system. It's like orthodox. Okay. So only option odd man out is open-minded. Okay. So dogmatic people are the people. Dogmatic people are the people. Dogmatic people are the people who have some belief system fixed. They don't want to change. They are not open-minded. They are very parochial minded. See, parochial minded. Very narrow minded. These people are very parochial in nature. Very narrow minded people. If they believe in something, they stick on to that. They don't want to change. Okay, right. And if you talk about the other options on the right side, my dear friends, options on the right side. Options on the right side. So what is the meaning of sectarian? I mean, what is the meaning of ecumenical? Okay. So look at all the options. Ecumenical means promoting unity. Okay. Ecumenical means promoting unity. Okay. I'll write here. So ecumenical means promoting unity. Promoting something that promotes unity. Something that promotes unity. And if you take the all other options, they are very biased. They are very biased. So unity, unbiased, okay, unprejudiced, okay, which means ecumenial. A teacher must be ecumenial. A teacher should not have favorite friends in the class. A teacher must not have Hindu students or Christian students or Muslim students. For a teacher, everybody is the same. That is why in a school there are uniforms. The purpose of uniform is just to make sure that everybody is equal before a teacher and before knowledge. That mindset is called ecumenial. All are equal, unity. Whereas you talk about these options like particularistic, exclusive, denominational, or even this, sectarian, it is about prejudiced. prejudiced? Prejudice means very selective. Prejudice means very selective. Bias, biased, nepotism, nepotism, okay, right. Nepotism, okay, right. Okay, guys, please take a good screenshot. So the answer is the option D, dear. The answer is the option D, dear, okay. Next. Question number 10 here. Oh, very, very simple words. No vocabulary, dear. No vocabulary, dear. Be fast, be quick. No vocabulary, okay. Waiting for your answer. Yes, dear. How simple this is, see? How simple this is, see? Yes, my dear friends, antonym, antonym. Antonym. Do you know, my dear friends, what is the meaning of the word fecund? Fecund. Actually, it is a one-word substitute. It is a one-word substitute. Fecund is actually the logical, the technical meaning is the ability to produce many offsprings, the ability to give birth to too many children. So, which is like almost like fertile, unnaturally flourishing. Verdant is also same. Verdant is also same, which is like very productive. Which is like very productive. Okay. So naturally the opposite is barren. Barren means empty. Barren means empty. Not productive. We say not productive. Okay. Now we say anthropologic. Do you remember anthropology? Anthro means related to humans. Anthropology. Okay. Humans. So humans have designed it. You're right, sweet poison. All these options are like artificial. Anthropologic means something man has created, which is artificial, synthetic, engineered. Which is like man-made, which is like man-made, which is like artificial. And the opposite is natural. The opposite is natural. So first option is the right answer. First option is the right answer. The first option is the right answer. Okay. Right. You please make some good running notes, dear. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Question number 11. See the vocabulary. 10 seconds maximum time. Just 10 seconds, dear. Yes. Oh, you're Raj. Nice to know. Your name is Raj. You're Raj Kapoor. Or Raj Kumar. Or Raj the Great. Yes, my dear friends. Yes. So what is the meaning of the word malleable? You know what is the meaning of the word malleable? Okay. What is the meaning of the word malleable? Malleable means easily shaped. I'll write here. So malleable means easily shaped. So malleable means something that can be easily twisted, something that can be changed into different shapes easily. So malleable means something that can be changed into other shapes. Something that can be changed into other shapes. Okay. Which is like supple. Supple is very delicate. Which is also like pliant. Synonyms. Ductile. Synonyms. Okay. Which is very close to flexible. Which is very close to flexible. Okay. You also use the word fragile. You also can use the word frangible. I'm giving you synonyms. Please write them. Frangible. Okay. Frangible. Frangible. Whereas intractable is something you can't change. You can't change it. You can't change it. Okay. You can't change it. Okay. You can't change it. Right. I think other options are easy. Salutary, everybody knows. Beneficial. Okay. Here there is a little difference here. If you look at the word salutary, salutary is also beneficial. So these both are actually same. Salutary is also beneficial. Salutary is also beneficial. Okay. Whereas noxious and pernicious are equal to deleterious, which is very harmful, precarious, perilous, venomous, vicious, malignant, injurious, harmful. That comes under that. That comes under that category. Okay. Yes, we have a mechanical engineer here. So that is the added advantage. So Raj, tomorrow if you go through this bank exam and prelims and mains and go to the interview, In interview, they will ask you this question. You are a mechanical engineer, and then why do you come to bank? Don't you think your mechanical engineering was wasted? Then you tell them, so during my preparation for the PO mains exam, there was a lot of vocabulary, and most of those vocabulary I've studied in my mechanical engineering, technical words, and that actually helped me, sir. So my mechanical engineering didn't go waste. That helped me to crack the exam. You can use that. That's what you messaged. You can use that, dear. Okay. Because for engineering students, it's going to be a very common question in the interviews. Don't you think your BTech is wasted? Don't you think your engineering is wasted? Okay. You can use like my mechanical engineering helped me to learn some vocabulary. Question number 12. Can you try, guys? Question number 12. Can you try? Yes. Yes, my dear friends. Yes. So veracious, veracity. So veracity means very, very, very honest, very, very, very sincere. A person who has integrity with him. So veracity means a person who is very honest, who is very sincere, and who is very candid, who is very honest. We use the word veracity, of course, veracious is an adjective, veracity is a noun form, okay? Veracious is an adjective, veracity is a noun form, okay? A person who is very, very honest and very, very sincere. Very, very honest and very, very sincere. Very, very sincere. Whereas mendacious is the reverse of that. Do you know mendacious? Mendacious means cheating nature. When we say mendacious, it means cheating nature, fraud. You can't believe that person is a mendacious person. You can't believe that person. You can't trust that person. Untrustworthy, untrustworthy person. Okay? Right. So the answer is a C option. The answer is a C option. Okay? Whereas confident, everybody knows. Whereas diffident, diffident. So diffident, timorous, hesitant, reticent. The meaning comes like very shy. The meaning comes like very dull. The meaning comes like not confident. Person who is not confident. Okay. Confident opposite diffident. You can remember like that. Confident opposite diffident. Confident opposite diffident. Okay. Confident is opposite diffident. No, in banking interviews, it's a very common question, and believe me, majority of the students are unable to handle that question. You are a student from civil engineering and now you want IBPS PO, then why did you do BTech and now why do you want to come to bank? If you want to get a bank job, you could have done some BCom or normal BSc. 4 years of engineering has nothing to do with bank job. Then some students will try to convince them, no sir, my engineering graduation helped me to improve my communication skills, to improve my team building skills and all that. But still, some people don't get that right confidence to handle that question. My suggestion is, when you get that question, don't try to make them fool too much. Because technically engineering is different from banking. So you tell them, sir, you're right. Honestly speaking, my engineering does not have direct relation with banking. However, I have learned some skills. I improved my confidence level. In my engineering college, I got exposure to different career professions and team building skills and patience. So directly, my engineering did not help me, but indirectly, 4 years of my engineering gave me better personality. So you should know how to handle a question, very nicely. Okay, right. Maybe one last question or two last questions. Fatafat. Time is running out. Yes. Question number 13. Question number 13. Yes. You should know the meaning of the word egalitarian, dear. You should know the meaning of the word egalitarian. Do you know egalitarian means? Egalitarian ideology is an ideology that believes in equality. That believes in equality. Everybody should get the equal rights. Everybody should get the equal opportunities. Everybody should get the, everybody should get the equal opportunities. Okay, like that. Egalitarian means equal opportunities, which is equal to democracy. Egalitarian, which is equal to collective, which is equal to communal. Actually, communism is somewhere indirectly related to this. A communist believes that everybody should have equal things. Okay, right. Whereas hierarchical means completely different. In Telugu we say Varasatvam. In hierarchical means something you get from your grandfather. Like president's son becomes president, or chief minister's son becomes chief minister, like that. Hierarchical, okay? Hierarchical, okay? So second option is a right answer, okay? And how easy the question is, you're right, Vishnu. Inhospitable, hospitable. But be careful, because not every time this works. I'll prove it. I'll give you one wonderful example and you will be surprised. Not every time this technique works, okay? Different, indifferent. So different, indifferent. So if you think like this, inhospitable, hospitable, opposites, indifferent, different, opposites, then you are wrong. Your game is over. Because different and indifferent are not antonyms. Different and indifferent are not antonyms. So different is very much different from indifferent, and indifferent is very much different from different. There is a lot of difference between different and indifferent. They are neither synonyms nor antonyms. Okay. So what is the meaning of different? Different means different. Indifferent means careless. Indifferent means emotionless, careless, emotionless, not caring. So they are two different words, no relation at all. So be very careful in that context. Okay. Okay, right. And here there is no plus minus factor, different words. Okay. Fertile is a positive word. Actually, fertile means, I told you, producing children. Hospitable means very respectable, hospitable, very respectable. Inviting is inviting. So all other words are very different words. Okay, right. Hospitable means very favorable. Hospitable means very favorable. Okay. Hospitable means very favorable. Hospitable means very favorable. Okay. Next. Maybe one last question before we end the session today. One last question before we end the session today. Yes. Yes. So what is the answer? Tenacious. I always try to be tenacious in my life. Of course, I am not 100% successful in that, but I always try to be tenacious in my life. So tenacious means very strong, very strong level of determination. Okay, very strong level of determination, which is like resolute and then firm. Very strong is durable, very strong is persistent. Okay, right. So then what is the meaning of imminent? Imminent means going to come. Imminent means going to happen. Imminent means going to come, going to happen, which is like approaching. SBI PO exam is going to come, immediately coming, eventually coming. Okay. So remote is far away. Remote is far away. Fleeting is something very temporary. Fleeting is something very temporary. Very temporary is fleeting. Very temporary. Something which is very temporary is fleeting. Okay. Right. So far I have covered 14 questions. Each question has 10 words. If you count, actually we have, of course, there are some easy words also, but number of words if at all to count, 140 words we have actually discussed so far. 140 words we have discussed so far. Maybe 10 more words, it's a homework for you. 10 more words, it's a homework for you. So send your answers in the comment section. Okay, send your answer in the comment section. So maximum I try not to miss live session every morning, but if at all if I miss, don't worry, I'll try to reschedule on some or the other time. I will try to meet you and maintain my consistency level throughout our journey, and wish you all the best and good luck. I want you also to be very focused and consistent. Thank you guys. And today evening CGL, I'll talk about reading comprehension. I missed it yesterday evening, and today evening I'm not going to miss it. Thank you so much. Send your answer in the comment section, guys. Thank you.